want to ask Bob to share a few words with us as well, but before I do this, I can't pass up the opportunity to ask Esther Colbert to come here and just say a few words. If you know IMAA, if you know Bob, then you'll know Esther. And she has as much of a hand, I think, in where we are today as anyone else. So thank you for being here, Esther. Could you say just a few words?
Well, there are so many people here today who I think would also like to say words of gratitude to Bob. I would like to say that there are a few times in my life when I've been able to participate in an event that I find truly just. I feel like justice today is being done by this honoring of Bob, by the naming of this building for him, by the plaque, by the artwork, and of course when I found out about it, I made all the plans I could to get down here and be a part of it. I wouldn't have missed it for anything. So I feel very honored to have been able to work with Bob. We did the math yesterday, and we've known each other for 30 years. So I think it's a great honor to be able to say that I've worked with Bob and been a friend. I want to share one very quick story that I felt it's sort of an anecdote, and it's one I love so much I've told it to people who don't know Bob at all, but they still love this story. It was a dark and stormy night. And Bob was out in his wingtip shoes, his suit coat, his tie, his dress outer coat, and his satchel and briefcase. And he was still doing visits, and it was dark, and it was a stormy night. And he went to a house, and he knew that this family was up on a third floor apartment. So he starts to climb the steps to their apartment on the outside of this building. And they were wooden steps, and he discovered on his ascent that there were some missing and some were broken, and it was wet and it was slippery. And he gets to the top, and he is at their kitchen window. This was a fire escape. And the family sitting inside at the table, just inside this window, and they look up, and here's Bob, who has come through a visit in the evening. It's pretty typical for Bob, because his workday usually went on much longer than most people. And they had to kind of clear the table and open the window because they kept trying to tell him to go back down, but there was no way he was going back down those steps. He had barely made it up. So here's Bob crawling through the window, and he has to come in on the kitchen table. He gets down, and he meets with the family. I'm sure they offered him some food, and he was able to conduct his business. But he learned that at this house, the third floor ascent does not go on the outside, it's an inside staircase. So. But of course the image of Bob in his suit coat and tie at this kitchen window having to come in onto the table was one that I've enjoyed, and I've shared this story with quite a few people. Anyway, Bob, I just want to say thank you with all the rest. It's been a